In this video, we're going to be talking about how to manifest money more easily. This is Jake Ducey with JakeDucey.com, and let's dive right into this video. Now, before we get into part number one, if you haven't yet, make sure you hit the like button on this video right over there to send it out into the YouTube universe, and let's get going. So, the first thing was I decided to become a multimillionaire. I was going year after year on my career, not getting the progress that I really wanted. I was starting to get some social status, like I gave a TEDx youth talk and things were starting to go my way, but it wasn't translating into a stable income stream for me. It was so inconsistent. And so there'd be times when I was feeling good and a lot of times when I was just stressed a lot. And so I realized when I reflected on this that I never actually decided that I would become rich from my career. Because when I started it, I was 19 years old. I dropped out of college. I was really struggling when I was in college. I wasn't happy. I was kind of borderline depressed, and I was also confused. And so when I decided to drop out of school, backpack around the world, and then write a book about it, especially not having any writing experience, I said to myself in prayer, like, look God, look universe, I just want to be happy. Like, if I could just survive, this would be the biggest success ever. Because everyone was like, you can't make money, this is not a good career decision. So I was like, if I could just pay my bills, if I could just survive. And at the time, that seemed like a good thing to say, if I could just survive. But that level of consciousness was quite literally years later enslaving me and trapping me and keeping me and my head just above water. All of a sudden, I said, oh my gosh, I've essentially decided to not have a lot of money. Because that's what it means. Most everyone has an idea of like, if I could just pay my bills. If I could just get by, if I could just survive like this. And I realized that was essentially me deciding by default that I wouldn't have a lot of money. So whatever way you form your own worldview financially ultimately determines your life. I didn't know that at the time. So I was working all the time. I was a workaholic. I would work till 2, 3 a.m. most days. The first time my wife slept over at my house, I was still in that pattern. So I told her the first time she ever slept over, by the way, I'm going to be waking up here at 3 a.m. to start working. And so I worked all the time. I was super burnt out. I was tired all the time. And I was always working. I was always at the computer sending emails, doing this and that. And I was working so much, but it wasn't exactly coming back to me in terms of steady increasing of income and certainty and security of finances. And so I made the decision, look, I'm going to be a multimillionaire from this. Before, that would make me afraid, if you're trying to be happy with your career, then you shouldn't get a lot of money, or I don't even know if you could become a multimillionaire, that seems hard. I said, I am a multimillionaire. And I started talking like that instead of saying, I'm a struggling entrepreneur. Because everyone glorifies the grind on Instagram. You want to grind, bro. And instead, I decided to get out of the grind, out of the starving artist, struggling entrepreneur mentality, and I decided to start telling myself that I am a millionaire. I'm a multimillionaire. So comment down below, I'm a multimillionaire. Comment down below, I'm a multimillionaire. Comment that down below, I'm a multimillionaire. You might be like, well, why are we doing that? This is so simple. Well, have you ever met someone that has a Porsche that decided they didn't want one? Have you ever met someone with a Harley Davidson that decided they didn't want a motorcycle? Doesn't happen. Think about everything in your life. It actually comes from a conscious or a subconscious decision that you've made about how your life is going to be. And I replaced my rules about what my life was going to be, and all of a sudden I stepped into a new box, and my new box was a consciousness of me being a multimillionaire. So in order to put this into perspective for myself, because it seemed like a big undertaking, I invoked the law of relativity. The law of relativity is that everything is relative. So before, as a young man, as a 20-year-old, and as a college dropout, and as someone who didn't really know anything about business or going to start a small business, I thought, $1 million, that's like, I could never do that. And then what I did is I learned about the law of relativity. So what I started to do was I made it all relative. So then I started looking into it more. And if you look at it this way, you could say, well, $1 million is so much, or in this instance, I'm a multimillionaire. So if that was your affirmation, I'm a multimillionaire, then multi-million seems like even more. But if you invoke the law of relativity, it kind of looks like this. So the Fed, the Federal Reserve, is injecting trillions of dollars into the marketplace. It's called quantitative easing. Right now, they say they're not doing it anymore, but they're still doing it to the overnight repo markets. They inject billions and trillions of dollars. Essentially, what they're doing is printing money out of thin air, and they're using it to push more money into the economy. So, what this means is that it drives up the prices on everything. It keeps interest rates really low. So it's cheaper to borrow money right now, but everything is more expensive. So $1 million is not what $1 million used to be. And, maybe 20 years ago, if you could retire a millionaire, you'd be set. Dude, in 20 years from now, when I'm retired, when 30 years from now, when you're retired, whatever, $1 million is a lot less money. There's so much money in circulation, it's actually losing its value. So in our economy today, $1 million is a lot less of what it used to be. That's an example of the law of relativity, and it's a fact. Now, in addition to that, another way you can invoke the law of relativity is to go, it's never been easier to make money. This is a fact as well. Imagine trying to be a millionaire 100 years ago without the internet and when there wasn't like cell phones, right? Like imagine 200 years ago and you couldn't just like hop in your car and drive to work 30 minutes away and be there, and you didn't have access to such a more connected economy, global economy. And imagine 100 years ago when you couldn't just like buy investments off the internet, whether it was looking at real estate deals or stocks or commodities and precious metals or single family homes, whatever you're buying, you couldn't just do that. So it's also never been easier to make money. All of a sudden, money's easier to come by. It's also cheaper than ever to borrow. And it's easier than ever due to a globally connected economy. And because there's so much money in circulation, it's never been easier to acquire money. All of a sudden you go, man, I can do this. I can do this. That's why the title of this video is How to Manifest Money More Easily. Because when you shift your worldview, things become easier. A lot of the degrees of difficulty of things come from the stepping stones we put in our own mind. So practice invoking the law of relativity to show yourself that it's actually easier to acquire money than maybe you previously thought. So when you put the word easy and money into the same sentence, people get angry. And I love the quote by the famous motivational speaker who is now no longer with us, Jim Rohn. He said, what is easy to do is easy not to do. What's easy to do is easy not to do. He says, I tell the kids getting rich is easy. And then people get upset. So he said, look, what's easy to do is easy not to do. He says, look, it's the same thing. And I started to practice that. I'm going to try this philosophy on. And I realized it's just as easy to wake up early in the morning as it is to sleep in. I actually feel worse when I don't set my alarm and if I sleep in till 9 or 10 o'clock or something. I feel worse. When I just sit around on the couch, it's harder to do that actually. I don't feel good. I feel like I'm not being useful. it's just hard to sit still like that all day as well. It's actually easier to be productive. It's easier for me to turn this camera on and blab all day on 9 million videos and get a headache. It's still easier hearing my voice that much and getting my vocal cords sore than it is to sit on the ground. It's easier for me to wake up at 5 in the morning and go to the gym than it is not to, especially when you start doing whatever it is consecutively for 14 days in a row, 10 days in a row, 7 days in a row, 21 days in a row, because you start to build the habit. Then it's not even like you need to even make the choice. It's just like you're kind of just being dragged wherever it is you're meant to go. So it actually becomes easier. So I made the decision of these things. I built the habit of making a video every single day. I built the habit of reading for hours a day. I built the habit of going to the gym early in the morning. I built the habit of waking up early. I built the habit of eating healthy. It's easy to do it, but it's also easy not to do it. And when you start to look at it that way and you start to really harness the power of habit, you find out it's just as easy to have a positive relationship with money, and it's just as easy to be productive as it is to not do it. So the last thing that I did to really cement this more fluid relationship in this world, this more fluid worldview of money, is that I started to love it rather than resent it. When you say the word love money, a lot of people immediately are emotionally triggered by that. The truth is, I love money. I deeply love money. A lot. It's done so many great things in my life. It's allowed me to live in my dream home. It's allowed me to live in all the places that I've ever wanted to live in the world, some very desirable places in the world. It's allowed me to live front on the ocean before and hear the waves every single night. It's allowed me essentially to retire my wife. My wife doesn't have to work. She never has to leave the house and do anything she doesn't want to do. It's allowed me to eat high quality foods. I'm really into health. It allows me to buy expensive green powders and herbs and supplements and the healthiest organic foods. It's allowed me to be really generous and donate places and help people and give money away. It's allowed me to buy the clothes that I want. Like, it's done so many good things. Like, I'm not gonna lie in front like I don't love that. I'm not misplacing the value of money. Like, I recognize that money is a lot less important than my own health, although money can help me acquire more health. Money is a lot less important than my own happiness, although money can give me a lot more things to feel confident and happy about and give me more options. I'm not going to front like money is more important than love, but money has made my relationship with my wife better. In fact, the number one cause for divorce in the world is money. It's the number one cause. And we've alleviated a lot of problems in our life by having money taken care of. Neither of us have to go leave and commute for an hour to a job. We have the security to not argue about little things, buy the stuff we want. So I love it. And I realized for so long I resented it. I resented the fact that it wasn't in my life. Then I would say things like, it's not that important, at least I'm happy, and I would justify it or rationalize it. And all this was just further deteriorating my relationship with prosperity. And the worse my relationship got with it, and the more I resented it, the more I continued to push it away. Even though I was a workaholic, even though I was working, a lot of times, basically from the moment I woke up till the moment I went to bed, and I was only sleeping, a handful of hours. So I was working all the time, yet I wasn't acquiring money. Why? Because my relationship with it was so bad that subconsciously I was pushing it away, even though I was consciously working hard to try to get it. So you have to make the decision to truly start to change your relationship with money, to start to truly appreciate it and love it, and not resent people that have it, and not resent not having it, and not get overly worked up about it, to start to love it. And so I invite you to comment down below that you are so grateful that you have prosperity in your life. Comment down below how you are so grateful for freedom. Maybe comment down below one thing that you're thankful for about money. Maybe comment down below one big idea you've acquired from this video. I would love to know it. I think that it would also be great if you commented down below one thing that you learned or thought of during the course of this video, because every video that I make, there's thousands of new people that come and watch, and you can be an integral part of this community, and you can be a part of this movement to inspire millions of people simply by commenting down below one new lesson or one new idea you've acquired from this video right there down below, because other people are going to go read the comments. You're going to inspire other people with your story, and personally, I would love to know your story too. So comment down below one thing that you've learned or one big idea that's come to you over the course of this video here. I can't wait for you to share yours and inspire other people as well. And if you're still here, make sure you hit the like button on this video. It's right over there on the side. The like button is what sends us out into the YouTube universe. So just to support the channel, if you dig the content, if you dig the videos, if you're new or not new, and you're like, hey, this was pretty cool, then make sure you hit the like button, because that will send this out to more people to continue this movement. So make sure you also hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. If you don't know, subscribing doesn't actually notify you for new videos. I'm not sure why YouTube does it, but they do it. So you have to make sure you hit the bell notification. So you might have subscribed many months ago or many weeks or many years ago, but unless you hit the bell notification, you don't get regularly notified. So make sure that you hit the bell notification on the side right over there to get notified for new videos. Hey, I'm wishing you an absolutely fantastic day. Thank you for watching this video all the way through. Please comment down below one thing you've learned or one big idea you acquired during this video. I would love to know it, and I would love for you to share your story and inspire many more people. So please feel free to share it right there down below. Have an absolutely fantastic day. Thank you for watching this video. I really do appreciate it.